Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Rutledge. I want to say hi to my kindergarten friends. I want to say hi to my Northmont kindergarten friends and any other Northmont students that might be watching, and anyone who might be watching. I have lots of friends, subscribers who love to come and watch our stories. So I love that you love to come and watch with us. All right. So, this time of year in the springtime, if you are in my class, this time of year we do two big units of learning. We do a big farm unit and we learn about the life cycle of a chicken, and we watch as we incubate eggs and watch for our chickens to hatch. And we're doing that. If you watch some of the other videos, you'll see some videos about that. And the other big unit of study that we do this time of year is all about caterpillars and the beautiful metamorphosis from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And we learn about butterfly life cycles. So today I have a special story for you, and I also have a plant to share with you. So you might see in the video this sticking up. This is a special plant called a milkweed. And a milkweed is especially loved by a special kind of caterpillar and a special kind of butterfly called a monarch butterfly. And it goes with our story today. I have a special story called Monarch Butterfly by Gail Gibbons to read to you today. But before we start, I wanted to share with you this milkweed. Now, some cool things to know about milkweed is that it is a flower that monarch butterflies can smell the sweet, milky smell and scent of the milkweed plant for up to 5 miles away, which is pretty amazing. They can smell it. And they will fly straight to where they can find it. I have milkweed this time of year in my yard, and I always buy a couple bushes, and then I plant them up actually in the garden here at Northmont, here at school. And because I don't have a good place to plant them at my house. But so I've noticed in the last few weeks, I've noticed a lot of monarch butterflies around my yard, and I thought it must be looking for the milkweed bushes that I usually buy this time of year. So I quick went to the nursery, Hunter's Nursery, and bought some milkweed. They're kind of hard to find. Not every nursery, places like Home Depot and Lowe's and that kind of stuff, they don't really have milkweed. But if you go to a special nursery like Hunter's Nursery here where we are, or maybe like Armstrong Nursery or a smaller local nursery, they might carry milkweed. So you might want to go and see if you can find your own milkweed plant. And it's really fun to have them in the class at your house, and it's really fun for me to have them and share them in my classroom. But I also wanted to show you. So what happened, I watched this today. So I had this at my house this morning, sitting outside. And I noticed a monarch butterfly fluttering around my backyard. And the butterfly came to this really tall branch here that has these flowers. And when I smell, I don't really smell anything. So to humans, we don't smell anything on this milkweed, but monarch butterflies love it. So the butterfly came and it was crawling around these flowers and sticking its proboscis down inside the little flowers in the center and sucking up the milkweed nectar that's on the inside of those flowers. And while it was doing that, it did something else that was really cool. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let me see, I'll try. Do you see, you can see a little bit. Do you see that little white dot right where my finger is? Yeah, that little white dot is an egg. So that butterfly, while it was fluttering around, it also landed and it laid an egg right there on that leaf. And they do that because when that egg hatches, a little itty bitty tiny caterpillar is going to come out. And our story today is going to talk about what happens, but that caterpillar will eat these leaves on this plant. And they love the taste of them. And so they'll strip the whole bush of all the leaves practically. So they eat a lot, and we're gonna see that in our story today, but I wanted to share that with you. So I will be keeping track of our special egg there, and I'll be making videos and letting you know. We'll videotape the egg when it hatches. I have no idea. The story I think tells us it'll take about a week or so, I think, before it hatches. So anyway, but let's find out. So now we get to read about it and see what's gonna happen to that little egg. This is called Monarch Butterfly, and it's by Gail Gibbons. And Gail Gibbons does a really great job of writing a lot of stories that give a lot of information. She writes about holidays and lots of different things that give us real information. So this story, even though it doesn't have real pictures of butterflies and caterpillars, she does a really great job of illustrating her stories and makes them look really realistic. And so this would be a nonfiction or an informational text story. So yeah, let's find out. Doesn't have a title page, so we'll just dive right in. A monarch butterfly settles on the leaf of a milkweed plant. You'll see what happens. Ready? Now, she gently presses a tiny egg onto one of its leaves, and the egg is the beginning of another monarch butterfly by Gail Gibbons. So there's kind of the title page, so thumbs up for the title page. She's a really fun author. It's summertime. Up in the north, a breeze stirs the stem of the milkweed plant. The monarch egg is white and shiny. It is the size of a small dot. Can you see it? Yeah, just like on the leaf on our plant that I just showed you. Yeah, real tiny. When the butterfly lays the egg, she makes it sticky. Wind and rain cannot make the egg come loose. That's pretty important. So you can see it. And it's usually on the underside of the leaf. This butterfly laid its egg on our plant on the top of the leaf, but most of the time it's underneath the leaf so that it will be protected from, wind and rain and stuff because it's underneath, but that's okay. In a few days, the egg will hatch. Out crawls a small caterpillar. It's also called a larva. First, the caterpillar eats the eggshell that it was in, and then chews away at the milkweed leaf. The egg of a monarch is almost always laid on a milkweed plant because the plant will become its food. So you can see there, it's just a teeny tiny, it looks like a little string, and it'll chew a hole in the middle of the leaf. Whenever you are looking at bushes or plants or leaves and you see little holes in the middle of a leaf like that, it usually means that there's been some sort of caterpillar there. The caterpillar eats and grows and begins to change. It breaks out of its old skin, showing a new skin underneath. This is called molting. There's our label, molting. And look at that caterpillar's gotten a lot bigger, huh? For 2 weeks, the caterpillar eats, and it molts about 5 more times. Finally, it is a full-grown monarch caterpillar, and it'll be about 2 inches long. So that's about that size. Yeah, about 2 inches. Now something wonderful begins to happen. The caterpillar creeps to the stem of a leaf, and it'll attach itself to the stem, and it drops itself down head first. The caterpillar's bright colors kind of turn greenish. So as they're growing, they're kind of black and yellow striped, and then that yellow becomes kind of a greenish color. And it also makes a letter, kind of a letter J shape. Did you notice that? Yeah. Then the skin will split and moves up to the top, so it sheds its skin one more time. And that skin falls off, and a new, strange-looking form appears. This is called the chrysalis, or the pupa. The chrysalis is like a blanket that is wrapped around the body that's growing inside. So a whole new body is forming and taking shape. At first, the chrysalis is long and soft, and then it shrinks and hardens and becomes light green, decorated with gold dots. And the monarch begins to grow. After about 2 weeks, the chrysalis changes again. It turns a gray-green before becoming transparent. Transparent is a fancy way of saying like you can see through it like a window. So when it gets transparent, you can even see through it and start to see the colors of the butterfly inside. Once it's transparent, that means it's about to come out. So the chrysalis will start to wiggle, and then it splits open, and the butterfly begins to pull itself out. The head and legs appear first, and then the rest of the body slides out. The wings are tiny at first and kind of crumpled and stuck together. And the butterfly's abdomen will look really large. The abdomen will become smaller as fluid is pumped into the wings. The wings will become bigger, and the caterpillar has now turned into a butterfly. The important word for this is called metamorphosis. That means a complete change. It completely changes, so it no longer looks anything like a caterpillar. Completely changes its shape and the way it looks. The butterfly sits quietly for a few hours, waiting for its wings to completely dry and harden. At last, they begin to move slowly back and forth, and then beat faster and faster. Suddenly, the butterfly flutters up towards the sky. Monarchs have a very bad taste to them, so birds and other animals might get sick if they try to eat them. So most monarch butterflies are left alone, so they don't taste very good. So most birds and other animals learn to not eat them. There are many different parts to a butterfly. So we have the butterfly's body, which has a thorax. Excuse me. It's got 3 parts. Most insects have 3 parts to them. They have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. And then they have legs. All insects have 6 legs, 3 on each side. They have that proboscis, which is like a straw, and it's usually curled up when they're flying, but then when they land on a flower and they're ready to eat, they will unfold or unroll their proboscis and stick it down inside the flower to where the nectar is. It's like a giant long straw for them, and they can suck up the nectar from deep inside the flower. It's like a tube. And then they have antennae on top of their head. They use those as feelers, and they use them for communication. They use them for touch and for smell because they don't have noses. And then they've got their wings. They have an upper wing and a lower wing on each side. So they have actually four wings, you can see in this picture here. And their wings have scales on them that are made of powder. And if you touch the wings of a butterfly and that powder rubs off on your fingers, then usually what happens is the butterfly can't fly anymore. When its scales get messed up like that, they don't fly. So you have to be really careful and not actually touch the wings of a butterfly. The monarch butterfly only flies during the day. When it rains, the butterfly stays dry, hidden underneath leaves of plants and bushes. They only like to fly on warm, sunny, hot days. When it's cold, insects don't like to fly. Fall is on the way, and soon it will be cold. If the monarch butterfly doesn't fly south, it will die. So once again, it has to dart up into the sky. The butterfly will take a long trip down south to a warmer place. This is called migration. Lots of different animals migrate. Whales migrate from colder waters to warmer waters and have their babies and then back up to the colder waters. And birds migrate, and so do butterflies. The monarch will fly to where its ancestors have always gone. Sometimes they will even go to the very exact same tree. Other monarchs keep appearing, making a cloud of orange flying through the sky, and at night they rest in trees. Sometimes they fly up to 12 miles an hour and almost 100 miles in a single day. There could be over 1,000 butterflies all traveling together. They fly to places such as down south to Florida. So if they're northern butterflies, if they're up here, these are the places where they go to where it's warmer. To Florida and Mexico, down south here, and to where we are in California. Some butterflies migrate 4,000 miles. They will stay south all throughout the winter. It's a really long time. Monarch butterflies tend to live longer than other butterflies because they have to be able to make that trip. Some towns and cities are proud to have butterflies visit them. They have festivals to celebrate their arrival. Some children dress up for parades in butterfly costumes. Sometimes there's a band and visitors come and visit from all around. I don't know where that is, but I'd like to go, I think. Monarchs can cluster together. Even thousands of them will all cling to the branches of the same tree. And it will look like the tree is actually a butterfly tree, a living tree full of butterflies. In the spring, these butterflies will migrate back north again and go back to the very same fields to the milkweed plants. They remember. They just know how to do that. That's called instinct, when they just know how to go, how to migrate and how to go to these places. So yeah, there you go. The Monarch Butterfly by Gail Gibbons. Really good book, lots of great pictures. I'll be reading some more butterfly stories, and we'll be keeping track of our plant and checking out the caterpillar when it hatches and as it grows. Oh, there's the little egg right there. Yeah, we'll be checking it out. So stay tuned and stick with me and be ready for more videos. Bye.